Hello, hello. Testing. Good morning. Good morning. Gosh, I feel so good. Stretching. Glass of water. Last night there were so many wonderful little thunderstorms rolling through. I had a great night. I had a great dream. I had a great dream that I just had right before I woke up, and I was in Colombia, where I grew up. I was in this valley. I mean, it was definitely like it looked a lot more movie-esque than it did in the real world, but it was this beautiful valley with like incredible hikes. And I remember in this dream I went on a hike with my family and with my friend from when I was little. His name is Gustavo. Gustavo was on this hike with me and my family, and Naomi was there too, and we were having a huge, I don't know, it was just amazing. I guess I hadn't really thought about Colombia as a place you could just hike, have amazing hikes. It's such a dangerous place that you would never really go on hikes, you know. I mean, when I say you, I mean me and my family. I didn't grow up hiking. I grew up in little bubbles, you know. My parents were always very afraid of anything bad happening, which, you know, I'm grateful for. I'm not gonna knock that. It's their way of being. And it's funny because in this dream, the last thing I remember from this dream is we were in a restaurant up on a hill. Not just a hill, like we were on the mountainside, and I really wanted to go like hang gliding. Like it was like this automatic hang glider launcher situation where it was like a hang glider slash glider. Just like it, I think it had a little cockpit. I'm not entirely sure because I never got to go on it, because as I was waiting for my turn, because there were like a lot of things happening, my mom comes out like so scared. She from the restaurant that we were in. She's like, "Pablo, you're not gonna do it anymore, right? You're not gonna do it anymore. It's getting too dark. It's about to turn into nighttime." It was getting darker, you know, like it's probably like another hour left of sunlight. And yeah, I mean, I wonder how much I'm still affected by my mom's fear of something bad happening to her little boy. It's crazy that my mom's fear is so strong that it makes it into my dreams. And I don't like it. I think at least this morning, this isn't like something I typically feel, but at least this morning I feel my mom's fear holding me back. Which is crazy, because I am pretty risky. I'm a pretty risky guy. I can take risks. And I think I'm ready. I think with the arrival of Amari, I trust myself to modulate my risk tolerance accordingly. So I'm just going to take a little moment here and acknowledge that part of me that is afraid as a transitive fear from my mom and is being held back by that fear. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Goodbye. You're not part of me. Trust that I will take care of myself and my family naturally. And I will honor what I've learned from you. That's really the best I can do in order to slowly chip away at the parts of me that I start to recognize aren't really me, but are affecting me. Tony Robbins and those people would call it limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. Yeah, that's such a crazy thing about belief. Is that many of our beliefs are like we're slowly putting ourselves in a box. And it's not really us. We're not meant to be in a box. You're not meant to be in a box. I'm not meant to be in a box. I don't think you're meant to be in a box. I think you're meant to be free. I think you're meant to be free. With boundaries. You're meant to be free with boundaries. But the boundaries aren't set for you. A lot of them you have to find, a lot of them you have to talk about with the people around you. Like freedom. Where are the boundaries of freedom? Yesterday, I couldn't really go to sleep and I watched a couple YouTube videos, just like pure algorithm fed. Tried to stay away from short form because short form video I think is not great for us. TikTok, not good. Instagram Reels, debatable. I mean, I like watching my friends create content, short form, sure, but not a fan of the short form video. Anyway, I'm gonna keep on track here. I watched this video of this guy he's recording, and he's at the entrance point to one of those like strip malls. He's on the road, on the sidewalk basically, and he's recording. He's just recording. Like literally, he's just recording. Probably recording like the cars passing by, the people going by. And the video starts when this woman comes up to him and she's like, "What are you recording? What are you recording?" And the guy is you can kind of tell just from the video, he's so happy. Obviously, he's the one who uploaded this to the internet. So he's so happy that he finally got somebody to come up to him. And he starts expressing that what he's doing is he's stress testing the society for freedom of press, because we are free. If we're in a public setting, we're free to record everything. That's what he's doing. He's just sitting there for I don't know how long. Maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 20, maybe it's an hour or two, I don't know. But this woman is obviously like trying to like get him to realize that he's making the people around him very uncomfortable. This like the people who are coexisting with him, he is making them uncomfortable, and rightly so, in the sense that I would be uncomfortable if everywhere I went in public I would be recorded for whatever reason, whether it's a stress test. And trust me, I'm a fan of the stress test. I think what the guy has convinced himself of that he's doing is cool. So I'm stress testing the freedom of press. That's like grandiose. That makes you feel good. Makes me feel good. I'm sure it makes him feel good. But that's not really what he's doing. What he's doing is he's baiting people to create content for the internet. There are better ways to stress test the freedom of press than to sit there with your camera in a parking lot recording casual people passing by. People who have no idea who you are, what you're gonna do with this footage. They might have children. They might be having a day, you know. Public spaces are meant to be protected from discomfort. That's why we make them better for everyone. So anyway, that's a boundary, for example, that, you know, nobody necessarily told this man that there was a boundary, but this woman came up and she was trying to express, like, what you're doing is totally legal. And it's very uncomfortable, and it makes the individual doing it just odd. He's an oddball. 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 I love oddballs. I do. I will be the first one to be like, I applaud your strangeness. Unless you're making other people uncomfortable. If you're active, maybe if you do it once, if you make people uncomfortable once doing something, and you're like, oh my god, you have like the internal capacity to recognize it. Oh yeah, I am making people uncomfortable. And you make adjustments to your plan. Happened to me. I mean, obviously, it's happened to me many times. The last time I remember it happening, I had this ridiculous idea. Ridiculous. This is maybe like 6 months ago. This was maybe like November. Yeah, anyway, like maybe between 6 and 8 months ago. I thought it would be a fantastic idea to go to this neighborhood where we just had a person ask us to get solar. Go to this neighborhood, and you know, this is me thinking like, okay, these are cool houses, and the demographic seems to be like maybe the right one, since, you know, one of the neighbors already chose to get solar, so maybe all the other neighbors would be interested in solar. how do we get the neighbors interested in solar? It's so hard. It's so hard to like differentiate yourself, to make something interesting out of nothing, out of, especially solar that has gone through ups and downs, and in the Florida area, so many scams. And anyway, hard thing to market directly to people, And so little Pablo imagination brain starts working, bam, bam, cranking. And I'm like, how about we do something ridiculous, and we reverse course. And there's certain things that I'm like super allergic to. I'm super allergic to door knocking salespeople. I just don't think it's really my style. I don't think it's something that's good for society, because again, even though it's technically like you have the freedom to knock on a door, I think it makes people uncomfortable. But I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna lean in. And I ordered this sunsuit on Amazon. I committed. I ordered this sunsuit on Amazon. It's like $30, and it's one of those things where like it inflates and it's just like fatten up into a sun. It wasn't like the best looking sun, I have to admit. Like I was hoping it would be better, but it was silly enough to fly. And Andrea, who's like my best friend and my right-hand woman at Spriteful, was here, and I convinced her. She was not about it, and I convinced her to do this with me. And it was like almost like a it felt like a it was definitely like the one thing that for sure is a positive is that we became bonded by doing this together. We charged up the camera, we went out there, and one last thing, crazy and silly, we thought it was going to work, but anyway, here's the final concept. We chose the houses that we thought had great roofs. We printed out some like little pamphlets with like each house, like, hey, here's like a little irradiance map of your house. Like, isn't that cool? Like, you look at how much solar potential you have. I can fly with that. We also calculated how much, if they were to get solar, how much they would save on a daily basis from sunlight on their electric bill. And we delivered. I got a wad of ones. I think I got like $600 worth of ones. Never done this before, but you can step into a bank and you can be like, hey, I want $600 in $1 bills, and they'll be like, okay. Shout out Bank of America. They said maybe if it's a little more than that, then call ahead, because they might have to go to the other banks and get some more ones, a wad of ones. They don't want to be low on ones. And we went on this journey. We went up and down some streets where we knocked on doors, and some people opened, and literally they opened the door, and it was just me in a sunsuit with it's $20 for them. I'd be like, hey, here's $20. Like that would be like kind of like my openings. Like, how's it going? It's me, the sun. $20. That's how much you would save every day if you got solar panels. Long story short is, didn't really quite work out because of two reasons. One, and I acknowledge this is, my mistake. One, solar is such an out of this world thing for most people who own houses today, because they didn't really grow up with that idea. Like the same way that we grew up with the idea of buying a car one day, we don't really, especially that generation, didn't quite grow up with the idea of getting solar on their house one day. So that it's like basically like you can't rush that idea for people. You can for some younger demographics, and you can definitely for a certain there's a certain subset of individuals that are highly influenced by a door knocker. Maybe not in a sunsuit. It has to be a little bit more professional than that. Some people found it funny. Some people were like, not interested by. They were just like basically ignore that this is happening completely. Just gonna go on with my day. And then there was one person. I forgot her name. But this one woman that was when we went and knocked on her door, it was so refreshing because Andrea and I felt like we had reached someone our age. And we had a conversation with her. By the way, one thing, we were recording. We had the camera. We thought, hey, if this totally falls flat on its face, whatever. We have footage of me going around the neighborhood in a sunsuit delivering money in the form of cash to people. And that might be something. Anyway, cue this woman who I forgot her name. Beautiful house, like very well maintained. I think it was around Christmas time, yes, and she had Christmas decorations, and that was kind of cute too, you know. She opens the door, her dogs come out, we have a really pleasant time together, and we're like, yeah, this is what we're doing. And she's smiling, and she's like, oh my god, this is so interesting, like, give me your information. And Andrea and I, needless to say, that door closes, and we're like, that was so cool, like, somebody actually, like, was on our page a little bit. Maybe she will actually get solar. Wrong. We continue down our path of mayhem, of, making people uncomfortable, knocking on their door. And at some point, we get in the car and we're like driving from one neighborhood to the other, and I look in my rearview mirror and there's this black Range Rover, following me, and I notice it, and I'm like, okay, all right, that's interesting. So I pull over I make a little U-turn and I pull over in a safe place, and I look over to my left and I see through the window this woman in the passenger seat. And I'm like, oh my god, this is my silly thinking at the beginning. It's like, oh my god, she's so excited about what we're doing that she came to like talk to us about it now. Wrong. She came guns a-blazing with her husband. Well, they didn't literally, maybe they literally had a gun, but I don't know. But they came with so much angst and anxiety and almost like this sort of desperation, almost like they had been looking for us for a while. They'd been like driving around looking for us. And I obviously felt very strange about this, and I opened my window and I heard what she had to say, and then the husband came out. Jacked, tattoos, like good looking dude, which, cool. Young, maybe like late 30s, kind of, I don't know, somewhere in the 30s. And he basically is like, dude, you gotta erase that video. And I was like, absolutely, I will erase that video. And so we were recording with my phone because our camera had died. Go on my phone, find the video, press delete, and he's like, go to the recently deleted and delete it from there too. I need to see this. And I was like, 1000% yes. Go to my recently deleted, find the video, delete it. And then they kind of just go away. And I'm confused, but at the same time, like, I don't mind. Like, obviously, if someone's gonna be uncomfortable enough to do this and like track us down, that's all good. That's all good with me. We get home later and we start like Andrea is a lot more in tune with what's really happening than I am. She's in tune with how insanely upset these people are. I'm still on the like cloud of like, okay, yeah, they just wanted us to delete it, but they're cool. They're cool people. I I get home and I realize I open up my Instagram and this woman has followed me on Instagram. And she's got like 2 million followers. And I'm like, oh, okay. So she's someone who is on the up and up, kind of like, influential in some circles, I guess. I look her up, and she's an ex-MMA fighter. Her husband is an MMA fighter. They run some sort of MMA thing, like their MMA life. Super cool. No issues. And of course, like at this point, I realized, okay, we pissed off some MMA fighters. that kind of day. Silly. Us being silly. Basically pissed off some MMA fighters. And yeah, I no judgment. Like we stumbled onto something that made people really uncomfortable. And the truth is, Florida is a 2-person consent state, so we did technically cross some boundaries there, because even though the camera was filming and it was obvious, and we were, this is the thing, is we were definitely not in public places. Like we were coming up to people's doorsteps and filming, so we were getting consent from people, but in a passive way. We were like, okay, like we're recording, like you can see it, right? We're talking to the camera. But not, we especially with this woman, we were in such a joyride because she was actually listening to us, that we were never like, hey, do you consent to being on film? We never did that, and that was for sure massive mistake. And I learned about the boundaries that are set, that are important. Yeah, so shout out to that woman and her husband for chasing us down, and I learned a lesson from you guys. That's cool. Anyway, back to like my original thing that I was talking about, and then I think I gotta go. Freedom. We are not really meant to be in a box. So fear, specifically fear, is something that's like very boxy. That's why, the whole, if you talk to anyone who's Burning Man-esque, they're gonna be like, oh, fear, like no fear, all love. Like it's really all about free. It's really not about fear and love. I guess it is about fear and love, but mainly it's people feel good about getting out of the box that they're in. And the funny thing about the box is you don't know the box is there until you start to feel like it's a box. Some people feel very comfortable in the box, and that's fine too. But the truth is that the box isn't great. It's not good for you. It's limiting. It's limiting to you, and if it's limiting to you, then it's limiting to all of us, because the world kind of, like if I were to be, and if everyone was to be fully free with, the being, while still being in tune and listening to each other's boundaries and kind of like flowing with that, and like not crossing the boundaries, but free, then I think that the world would be a lot better. Yeah, just better. I think fear and the box and everything, it's not good energy. It's not good energy. Because guess what? If you're in a box, what does that mean about everyone else? Well, they should be in boxes too. No, they shouldn't. Unless, of course, it's been determined by jury of their peers that they should be in a physical box, then yeah, they should. I'm not calling for anarchy here. I'm just calling for each individual going through a process, understanding where the fears are, where they come from. Maybe they come from an external source, like in this case, they came from my mom's fear. My mom's fear coming into my dream and preventing me from having an amazing flight, sunset flight through my dreamscape of Colombia's valley, Valle del Cauca, in a glider. That would have been sick. Not saying that this dream wasn't fun, it was still fun, but I felt fear in the dream. And my mom came out, and she was the physical dream representation of that fear that didn't allow me to get on the glider. Anyway. Just doing my best. Just doing my best to learn from my experiences to improve who I am, how I deal with fear, how I deal with freedom, how I deal with society. Thank you for listening. Oh, shout out Martin. Bro, I love you, dude. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you listen. I need to know that somebody is willing to. So I know you're willing to because you commented on that other video I made. Thank you. That helps so much just to know that there's one person who's like, yeah, bro, do that more. Oh, it's like, it's so meaningful. Not gonna lie. It's especially because I want to do this every day. It takes some energy to lift something like this off the ground. So Martin, love you, bro. And I hope you have an amazing day. Peace.